I'm Georgia Darden, and this is Marshall Close Up. Today we have co-owner of Doug Dotson, Champion Auto Mart, and Mayor of Benton, Mayor Dotson.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here with us. So, because the COVID cases are going down, it looks like Tater Day is going to happen this year.
Yes,
What are
absolutely.
your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's good. People have went 2 years without Tater Day, and that's been basically a catastrophe for a lot of people. So, yeah, it's our festival. It's what we are, and we want to bring it back bigger and better than ever.
So, recently I heard that the mayor position has become a full-time position.
Yes.
So how has that changed for you?
That was my goal when I went into office, was to make it a full-time position. Benton is growing, and to have somebody there full-time to help it grow, to look for grants, to talk to various people, to get them to locate in the city, to have housing available for the city, just all different aspects. Benton is big enough now to have a full-time mayor.
So one project that I was aware of that you've done since you've been in office was the Fill the Fence project. So what urged you to start that?
Well, I have a friend that is full of life, and she's always thinking of wonderful things to do, and she pulls me in on these things. But this one I especially love because it was honoring the frontline workers of people that, even though COVID was running rampant and everybody was terrified and we didn't know what was going to happen, these people still had to go to work every day, and we called them our frontline workers, so we wanted to honor them.
So speaking of COVID, how has COVID affected your job as mayor?
It really hasn't made a great deal of difference with us. We've just used extra precautions. We have closed City Hall off and on a couple of different times, but our workers have still been out there every day, and we've just tried to be very cautious.
So what is your favorite part of your job as mayor?
Being able to help people.
So are there any projects that you have coming up?
Yeah, there is. I'm currently working on a first responder park, and it will be in the plaza there on the corner of 12th and Main Street, and it's to honor all of our first responders, especially after all the work they've done since the tornado.
So what will that entail? Like, what will it look like?
We've had a rendition of an artist drawing, and basically we haven't decided 100% on exactly what we're going to do there. But we will have to be raising funds, we'll have to be trying to get grants, we'll have to be trying to get local businesses to donate to it. It's not going to be cheap.
What is your favorite department to work with?
You know, I don't have a favorite department, honestly, and I'd get in trouble if I did say that, so.
Okay, so I think that most government positions are dominated by males. So what is it like being a female in a government position?
You know, it has really been easy. I've been accepted. I think a lot of my background, I came from a construction family, grew up in construction, and then I flipped houses when flipping houses wasn't really cool. You didn't have the flipping shows and all that, but that's what I did for a living. So I had a background, and I basically understood utilities and what it takes to run a city.
If you could give any piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Go back to school, get a really great education that I could fall back on.
Are there any things that you still really want to accomplish while you're in office?
Absolutely. Economic development is definitely on my radar, bringing more business into the city, revitalizing the downtown, and just the entire city, just bringing more people in. I think COVID has made people rethink living in the cities, and they're migrating towards cities like Benton. So being prepared.
And what did you do before you were mayor? I know you just said you worked in construction, so.
Well, I quit flipping houses years ago. I actually worked with my husband, probably was the last thing that I did before I ran for mayor, but I was a city council person for 8 years prior to being the mayor.
So what is the difference like? How did that kind of shift when you went from city council to mayor?
It's a big difference. It really is. It's a totally different experience because the city council is more on making the laws and maintaining the budget and the funding. and the mayor is running the day-to-day activities of the city.
So what kind of activities do you do daily? Like, what does your daily job look like?
Mostly trying to handle with employees day-to-day activities of infrastructure, the water, the sewer, the gas. The city also owns Benton Electric, but we don't run it. It's run by a board, but we do run all the other different companies. So trying to coordinate with that, complaints from citizens and addressing their issues that they need taken care of. Here lately, working with tornado victims has been a big part of my day, probably 3 to 4 hours a day on working with them and trying to help them.
I would imagine that caused a lot of stress and a lot of extra work for you.
It did.
How has that?
It's, I sit on the Marshall County Nonprofit Board, and we have some funding, and we've just developed just a very short application that takes about 30 seconds. If you were in the path of the tornado, you apply with us, we send money out. But it takes, it sounds simple, but it takes a lot of our day. But it's a great part of my day, being able to help these people that really need help, that have lost so much.
So what words of encouragement would you have for young females seeking jobs in government?
Get out there, learn everything that you can learn, get a background education. Just get out there. I knocked on doors. I knocked on every door in Benton and asked for their vote.
What made you choose your job over any other job you could have had?
I wanted to, I love Benton. I'm a transplant. I grew up in Tennessee, but I love Benton. I would never want to live anywhere else. And I wanted to make it the best it could be. And I thought that I could do some things to make it better.
What is your favorite thing you've done while in office?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the answer to that when you've stumped me. I've done a lot of things that I'm happy about. I've done some things that I'm not happy about. I look back and think, why did you decide to do that? But, you know, sometimes in that position you make snap judgments or snap decisions that you have to make right then, and you look back, but I don't know what, I don't know.
What is, I know you said you really enjoy Marshall County. What's your favorite part?
The people and the friendliness and the helpfulness, and you feel like anytime there's anything disastrous wise, they come together so quickly and they help each other.
And then you're also the co-owner of your husband's car lot. So
Yes.
What's it like having a business and balancing that with being mayor?
Basically, the only thing that I do at the business now is I go down and take photos and put the vehicles online to sell. So, you know, things are different now. Used to, you'd run an ad in the paper to sell a vehicle. Now, if you don't put it online, you don't sell it, because not very many people drive through the lots anymore and just look and buy a vehicle. So everything's different now.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Retired and maybe living part-time in the tropics and doing a lot of volunteer work.
So do you enjoy traveling?
I do. I love to travel.
Where is your favorite place to travel?
The ocean. I love the ocean. Yes.
Do you see yourself as a role model to young citizens?
I hope so. I hope that I have been able to blaze a trail as the first female mayor in Benton. I hope I have done a good enough job that women can follow behind me and be able to get elected.
And do you see yourself, do you aspire to have any other government positions?
No. No.
So, is there anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Just that I have thoroughly enjoyed my job, and when I do leave it, I hope that I've left a legacy behind that people can say, well, that was something that Mayor Dotson did while she was here. So that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm Georgia, and this has been Marshall Close Up.